Please help me to reach 500 subscribers. It began like countless evenings before it, just the two of us and the quiet tension that had slowly replaced conversation. My wife sat on the edge of the bed, lost in her phone, its glow reflecting off her face like a barrier I didn't know how to cross anymore. I hovered in the doorway, searching for something new to say, something that didn't feel worn out or desperate. "Are you coming to sleep?" I asked at last, keeping my voice steady. She didn't lift her eyes. Didn't hesitate. "I'm exhausted," she replied softly. Those words had become predictable. Her nightly excuse. A gentle dismissal that told me she preferred the screen in her hand to the person standing in front of her. I nodded as if it didn't hurt, as if I hadn't been quietly counting the nights since we'd last felt close. I shut off the light and went to bed alone, listening to her footsteps move through the house, already knowing she wouldn't follow. The next day her best friend Jenna stopped by just like she often did. Jenna was everything my wife hadn't been lately, bright, lively, magnetic. She brought warmth with her, filling rooms effortlessly. She and my wife had been close since college, long before I entered the picture. I liked her well enough, though she sometimes watched me in a way I couldn't quite understand. Not judgmental. Not playful. Something in between. As they leaned against the kitchen counter, laughing over something on Jenna's phone, I noticed how naturally my wife smiled. It was genuine. Alive. A smile I hadn't seen directed at me in a long time. Seeing it made me relieved and strangely jealous. Jenna stayed for dinner. We drank a little, and for once the conversation felt easy. My wife talked more that evening than she had in weeks. We laughed about old trips, petty arguments, the early days when we believed love was unbreakable. Still, I caught details I couldn't ignore. Jenna's glances when my wife wasn't paying attention, the way her voice softened when she spoke to me, how carefully she listened. It wasn't flirting, not exactly. It felt more like awareness. And it lingered. Later my wife said she was tired and went upstairs. The familiar ache returned. Jenna remained, helping me clean up. The house grew quiet except for the dishwasher humming in the background. She poured another glass of wine and handed it to me. "She's been distant, hasn't she?" Jenna said gently. I wasn't prepared for that. I tried to brush it off, but she continued. "I can see it," she said. "You look alone." I laughed weakly, but it was true. I was lonely. I'd been sharing a bed with someone who felt miles away. I admitted it, to her and maybe to myself for the first time. It wasn't just about physical closeness. It was about feeling unseen. Forgotten. Jenna didn't interrupt. She listened. After a moment she spoke quietly. "You deserve to matter." I looked at her properly then. Really looked. She was close, her expression gentle, almost sad. The atmosphere shifted, subtle but undeniable. She gave a small smile and said simply, "I'm not tired." Time seemed to pause. I couldn't move. There was no teasing in her voice, no pressure. Just honesty. She didn't touch me. She didn't step closer. She waited. My heart raced. Every instinct urged me to respond, but then I thought of my wife upstairs. The woman I still loved. The woman who once made me feel whole, even if she no longer noticed me. Jenna broke eye contact first. "I shouldn't have said that," she whispered. She grabbed her bag and headed for the door. Before leaving she turned back and said, "You deserve more than silence. Remember that." Then she was gone. I stood there long after the door shut, shaken by what almost happened. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I lay awake beside my wife, listening to her breathing, wondering when we had become strangers. When she turned in her sleep and her hand brushed my arm, it nearly undid me. Despite everything, despite the anger and temptation, I still loved her. The next morning she acted as if everything was normal. Coffee. A smile. A kiss on the cheek. I watched her walk out the door, wanting to shout that she was losing me. But I said nothing. A few days later Jenna sent a message. "I'm sorry about the other night. I care about you both." I stared at it before deleting it, not out of resentment but understanding. It hadn't been about attraction. It was about being noticed when you're slowly disappearing. Months have passed since then. My wife and I are still together. We've had difficult conversations. Honest ones. I told her how alone I felt. She cried, said she hadn't realized how far we drifted. We're trying now. Therapy, small efforts, intentional moments. Still, some nights when she sleeps beside me, I hear Jenna's words echo in my mind. "I'm not tired." Not as temptation, but as a warning. A reminder that love requires attention. That neglect can quietly destroy even deep bonds. And that when someone stops trying, someone else will always be ready to notice what's being lost. Please help me to reach 500 subscribers.